All right, so it's my pleasure to introduce our next speakers, Loyd Auerbach and Tina Dumas. Loyd is a knowledge and research consultant for AmLaw firms in the Western States and has worked for Lexis for over 32 years. He also serves as a contract librarian for and researcher for law firms and at the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. Beyond his legal research, Loyd is also a leading figure in the field of parapsychology. As an educator, field investigator, and consultant. Loyd also holds a bachelor's degree in cultural anthropology from Northwestern University and a master's science in parapsychology from John F. Kennedy University. And then Tina Dumas is a senior KM manager at Nossaman LLP, where she runs a hybrid KM library and AI department, so many hats. Basically, all the jobs of the firm split into 3 departments. She currently serves on AALL Executive Board as a past president of NOCAL, which means she spent a lot of time in her free time in rooms full of law librarians. Tina speaks frequently on KM research workflows, staffing, and making AI useful without letting it run the place. Today, she's especially excited to walk through some fairly useful and gloriously useless websites for law librarians, ideally giving you new tools for your work and new distractions for your downtime. All right, thank you.
All right, well, so we have these set up in a few different buckets, as you can see on the list there. For those of you who are watching virtually, we'll show you a link to pull down the document. So you'll also see the same link too if you'd rather have a digital version, so you can just click on the links that are going through. Some of them are totally useless, but they're fun.
And the link was just shared with the virtual
there we go.
attendees.
All right, so Tina, want to get started?
Sure. So, maybe. There we go. So the first section we're going to be talking about is legislative and regulatory sites that might be helpful to you. And the first one has been mentioned several times today, but this is the Office of the Clerk of the Chief Clerk of the California State Assembly. And I know several speakers mentioned it. It's something that a lot of you already know about, but I just wanted to put it in here because I felt that I would be remiss if I didn't. And it does go all the way back to 1849. And I did also want to shout out, if I do another presentation like this, I am going to put in the chapter to bill conversion page. So I learned something new today. So the next slide that I have is, or the next site that I have to share with you is the National Conference of State Legislatures. I think maybe a lot of you already know about this, but it's a great way to do comparative state law research. They have various topics and subject areas listed there, and they'll list all the state legislature that's happening or legislation that's happening. So you can track different state laws and how it's going and where it all is. So and I want to get rid of this because that's in my way. Sure. Okay. One other key feature that you may not know about the NCSL is that you are also able to locate state legislators and staff, which is a key tool that they have available that I really like. Come on. There we go. I don't know if everybody knows about govtrack.us. It was started in 2004, so it's been around for a while. Even though it doesn't go back to the 1900s like my kids refer to. But it was started in 2004, which is pretty, a ways back. It's an independent organization, so it is not a government website. It only tracks federal legislation at the moment, and I don't know that they have any plans to do California tracking or other state tracking, but of course you know that you can track California bills from the legislative intent website. And oh, it's just really good. They will have GovTrack will have a summary of the bill, the full text of the bill. It will have who the authors were. And it also has a study guide, which is really nice for each bill. So you look up a bill, and then so if you're teaching a class on a particular federal statute, you can go in and use that study guide to create some questions that might be helpful for you. So this one is LAPA, or Legislative Analysis and Public Policy Association. This is a more focused group. They really only track legislation on public health, substance abuse, criminal justice in those areas, but they do state and federal. They cover state and federal. So within that limited world of those. It's really helpful. One of the key useful things I find here is that they have drafted model legislation in these various areas that they track. All right. Reginfo.gov. This is a federal government website, so they may have lost some funding and staff in the last year or so. So, take that as take that information as you will. But it is a fabulous website with all kinds of graphics. You can see there's all kinds of colorful tables, graphs, etc. And they track regulations that are currently under review by the OMB, sometimes even before they're published in the Federal Register. So helpful to know. And then
I think you're all familiar with this.
yeah.
And if you haven't seen it in a while, you should probably watch it again, because just as a refresher. There are a few versions of this online. Obviously, that's one of them. But for people who don't know anything, especially about federal bills, this is a great thing. Some of our federal government should probably be watching this every once in a while, as we know. But we do recommend that. Now, I know LibGuides for Northern California universities or law schools, you're probably familiar with those, but what about a few Southern California ones? So there are good LibGuides from the University of San Diego for legislative history. We have one for UCLA for legislative history and advocacy. And also one, whoops, did I miss one?
Yeah,
I missed one. San Diego.
No, we went by USC.
Yeah, we went by USC. Okay, that's what happened. So there's USC. San Diego has one, a good one that I found, and UCLA has a deep LibGuide as well. And then we come to the OAL, Office of Administrative Laws, California Code of Regulations History. So if you're trying to do some history research here, this is a good starting point for you, as well as, of course, many of the other resources that were noted today. Now we're going to move into some more general, useful ones, get out of the theme of this institute.
I put the picture in of the tote bag because librarians love tote bags. Just saying. So the first one is Gamma, and I discovered this recently. It is an AI-powered, and it creates all kinds of presentations. So the main 4 things that it will do is it will generate from a one-line prompt. I will say that's probably not the best one. I did try it just to see what it would do to create, I was like, come up with 15 websites that are good, that will work for this topic, and I gave it a fairly detailed prompt, and it hallucinated a whole bunch of websites that I did not include in this presentation. But another thing you can do is you can paste in text, which is Loyd and I came up with a whole list of websites we wanted to go through, and I did put it in here, and it created quite a lot of these. Now, the slide says you're looking at a Gamma presentation right now. This slide was created by Gamma, but we also used Notebook LM and Perplexity and many and Microsoft Copilot and our own brains, of course, and our experience. The other thing you can do is create a template for a presentation if you want to, and you can also import a file or just a URL and say, hey, create a presentation from this. So.
Yeah, this one has been mentioned by folks. I love Notebook LM as a free service. It does so many different things, and they just added even more to it. So you can use your own documents or pull other documents in. You can put in a website address. You can put in a YouTube address. An MP3 file can be uploaded. You can add all sorts of things, and they can be very diverse of different kinds of documents as well. I have used this myself for not having to read a very lengthy scientific paper. I actually have it create a podcast for me. And then in my car, I can listen to the two very human voices go back and forth and tell me what the actual paper says. It does videos now. It creates its own slides and gets narration from what you're starting with. It'll do slides. So if you're looking for creation of slides, which you can then kind of import into PowerPoint. And as of yesterday, I got a note that it actually does infographics. So I put my personal website through, and this is what I got after a few minutes. So kind of the highlights of my website, which was really kind of cool. I'm going to use this. So quite a bit, in fact. Also should mention that I have created presentations now just recently teaching my team. If you have a transcript of, let's say, a training you did or a lecture, or you get an MP3 file, you put that into the transcribe feature in Microsoft Word. And if Copilot is there for you, then Copilot can take that transcript and create a PowerPoint presentation for you. And I did it with the training recently, kind of a Lexis update. The only thing I have to change, honestly, is some of the pictures. It hit every single high note that I really wanted. It was like an outline for my presentation. So that's another recommended piece you can play with. FineTube. How often do we go to YouTube to ask to see something being cooked because we want to see how something's done, to fix something in the house, to learn something? This is an AI-powered, think of this as a YouTube search engine. So it is powered by AI. It's going to find the better the prompt, the better the response you get back, as with any other AI. But it's a great way of sifting through the often hundreds of videos of do-it-yourself that are out there. And then we know that everybody knows Perplexity. Not too long ago, Perplexity launched a browser which incorporates Perplexity AI. So you don't like using Gemini with Chrome or anything else, you can download their browser for free. It'll actually include the Perplexity, and all the benefits of Perplexity are going to be right there in that browser for you as well.
And I will say that I found that I was using Perplexity in another browser. So I was just at the Perplexity website, and it was giving me all of the great links to resources on the web, but some of them were dated. And then I downloaded the browser and I did the same prompt, and it gave me a lot more up-to-date information. So if you like Perplexity and you use it a lot, I would recommend getting the browser.
And the browser's not that different than Chrome.
Yeah, no.
It's pretty close, yeah.
All right, so this one, this was a website that was actually recommended to me by someone. It's called Ground News, and you can look up any kind of topic or whatever you want, and it will bring you news articles or headlines for that particular topic, and it will show you the political spectrum of where those articles fall in the political spectrum. There's also, I don't know if you can see it, but the tab I've clicked on, so there's left, center, right, you can like click through those. And the one on the right in black there, it says bias comparison. And so that's what this is showing right here below. It's showing the left leaning, the conversely center leaning, and so forth. So it's very much a grounding in the news of where, how these different publications are. And you can see in the little graphic on the right-hand side, the bias distributions of the different news agencies.
Yeah, I don't see the Daily Show there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right.
All right, and because it's the end of the day, and I promised you useless websites, here we go. The first one is Information is Beautiful. This is a page that is a source of information and design and inspiration. So they have taken data from all over the web and they have put it into these amazing graphics. And we're actually going to show you one right there. So this one is Best in Show, the ultimate data dog. And you probably can't see it, but across the top, it gives you a little key. And so the dogs here, they're sorted into the different categories: hot dogs, inexplicably overrated, and so forth. And I forget what the bottom ones are, and how popular they are. Also, in the little key, if the dog is facing to the left, then it's considered a dumber dog. If it's facing to the right, it's a clever dog. And all this information comes from the American Kennel Association. So at the bottom, it's cut off, but at the bottom of this screen on the website, it will actually, I think I can't scroll down. The source is the American Kennel Club. So it does give you the sources where it got the information from. Sometimes there's a whole lot of sources there too, but that was kind of fun.
Switch back to the main one. So slide. Okay. There we go. Okay.
And this one's yours.
Yeah. So this is one that was recommended to me by a journalist, former editor for the Oakland Tribune a while back. This is a site that journalists often go to for global data on major topics like health issues, climate change, and quite a bit more. It does provide very graphic illustrations. Essentially, it's giving you charts and graphs of the data. I think we had, did you have that open?
Sure, we have that.
Yeah, you got that.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. So you can see if I scroll down a little bit, I can get down here. You can see some of the charts that are here. It's not something that, it doesn't create a chart for you per se, but it does give you some more data, deep data analytics you can do on major issues that might be out there in the world as well. Let's go back.
Okay.
Go.
And then if you really need a break and you just need to escape, you can go to explore.org and watch all kinds of webcams. Usually nature webcams. There's all kinds of animals. I believe the one we pulled up is the kitten rescue cam. So there's several of them. There's actually a whole category called cat rescues. So they, and they are live. So we featured the dogs a minute ago. So now we're showing you the cats. I don't think anything's actually happening, but maybe the cat's just sleeping.
Waiting for something to happen.
Waiting for something to happen. I don't know. But you can see across the top, there's all kinds of categories: Africa, bears, birds, oceans, dog bless you, cat rescues. There are some that, if you wanted to find penguins, you can find the penguins, bald eagles, etc. So if you just need an escape, you can come to explore.org and look at your favorite webcams.
You need to switch back, actually, the main slide, yeah. Okay, let's see. So Libro Match. Looking for something to read? Have a favorite author, favorite book? This is going to suggest things for you, and we do have this. We have that one up also. So if we put in one of Tina's favorite authors is Terry Pratchett. So I'm going to put in Mort, which is one of those books. And let's see what it takes a couple seconds. Let's click on search. It actually also does graphic novels. So I threw in Watchmen before, and it gave me a bunch of select ideas for graphic novels. Now, some of them may not be any surprise. In fact, I think that somebody who's already read Terry Pratchett stuff may be very well aware of the other books as well, like Good Omens, which is coming in a new season soon on Prime, A Hitchhiker's Guide and The Discworld Companion, American Gods, things like that. So, but there are some surprises, some books I've never certainly heard of here, or I would never associate with those as well. So let's go back. Where did
That's
we?
it.
Oh, that's not it. No,
No.
that's it.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Next one's yours too.
All right. That was actually yours. Sure.
Was it?
All right.
No?
No. Okay. What should I read next? It's going to give you suggestions on things. You can enter a book, again, as with the other one, and get some personalized recommendations coming from readers who have recommended things. So, on Amazon, it'll actually have books that are read by other people or bought by other people. It's that kind of idea. And then this is a really interesting one called Literature Map. Do we have that one up?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So, let's find it here. That's not it. There it is. All right. So I'm going to put in an author's name. And let's put in, I used this one the other day. If I can spell his name right. Philip K. Dick, since his stuff is constantly being adapted into television and film. And so it gives me a little weird word cloud of other authors who are connected in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes the books, these authors write books in the same genre, sometimes across other genres as well. So it really depends. Not every author is in here. I will say that. So I've tried a few other authors that didn't come up with anybody at all. All right.
All right. So this website is really fun, suggested by a friend. Always judge a book by its cover. You can see a couple of the examples here. Other titles include How to Survive a Garden Gnome Attack, How to Raise Your IQ by Eating Gifted Children, and Extreme Ironing. You can go here and suggest a book if you would like. You can subscribe to the RSS feed so you can get notified when there's a new one listed, which isn't very often. And there are links to all of these, to purchase all of these books on Amazon. These are real books that you can buy.
I'm going to upload one called 101 Ways to Avoid Reincarnation.
There you go.
Which is a real book that I have at home. All right, life note. If you do journaling, and sometimes you feel stuck as you're trying to figure out not only what to write, but how to write it, to think about what's there. Well, LifeNote has AI-powered mentors. There's over 1,000 historical literary mentors who can help you through and engage you in conversation, from Albert Einstein, there's Steve Jobs, Aristotle, Carl Jung. Just think of an author or think of somebody in history, and that person will come through the AI. Now, how good that is depends, basically on how they program that or the literature that's out there. I can't think that Aristotle is going to be too much better than some other folks that are there.
All right. I told you, I promised you useless websites. So where were we? Yep. Okay. So this page is very simple. You click on the please, it takes you to a random website that is rather unusual. I will say if you, it's not, oh yeah, down at the very bottom of the page, if you click on read about the sites, it will give you a list of all the sites and what they are. But it's a lot more fun to just click the please and see what happens. We don't know what's, oh, here's the long, I think it's supposed to be long dog challenge. But you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. There is an option up on the upper right, click to print. I don't want to even think about how long that is. But yeah. Sometimes it's a game that you can play. Sometimes it's something stupid like this. But totally useless.
Okay, let's take that back. There. All right. Oh, this is also yours.
Oh, yeah. So this is Random Street View. It's just randomstreetview.com. You click into it, you go to this webpage, and you can just find any random street view. It will give you a map of where it is in the world. You can click next. I will say that a lot of times I have clicked into it and it just shows like a field. on the side of some random road. So there is that, but and then there's a bonus alternate that you can use, which is mapcrunch.com, works in a similar way.
And you can also just use Google Earth and zoom in on someplace
Yes.
randomly too.
Yes.
Next is your list.
Yeah. Ian's shoelace site. Did you know that there are over 60 ways to lace your shoes?
Julie's nodding her head.
Well, Julie suggested.
How many do you know?
I've been through almost the whole website.
Okay.
But there's not just lacing shoes, there's tying shoes too. There's all kinds of knots you can use. You can learn about the history of shoelaces, how to fix an aglet if you need to, which are the little plastic things on the end of the shoelaces if you didn't know. What else? What other information? It's just, fun. There's always a picture of the day. This one, I believe, is a railroad lacing. I think it's something about
Looks like railroad tie.
railroad ties. So, yeah. This one, radio. That's 5 O's. There's 5 O's in that. Just so you don't have to count them. I already did. But this is a site where you can just spin the globe at the website and pick a country and a decade, and it will give you music from that decade and country that is curated by DJs around the world. So that's an interesting topic. And then Loyd, you mentioned Radio
Radio Garden, I've used quite a bit to listen to the BBC and to other countries' radio stations. So it doesn't have everything. If they're on the web, if the radio station's on the web, the odds are you're going to be able to find it in the US and almost everywhere else.
And I will say that radio, the free version only has a select number. I think it's just 4 decades that are available, and only, I think 10 countries. But if you were really interested in other countries, you could probably pay the small fee. And then FameLac, this is number 30 on our list, but don't worry, there's more.
Yeah.
This used to be TV Garden, and this is where you can find TV shows from around the world. So again, you can click on a country. It is a little bit limited. You had some limitations.
Yeah, I was trying to find some programming that we can't get in the United States, and if it's kind of limited in the stations that are, again, on the web, and they're more local to the web, but it seems to get past some of the blocks we find with trying to look at overseas television.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to finish this up. Can't leave without talking about chocolate. All right, first, if you want to learn about chocolate, I highly recommend Craft Chocolate TV. It is a YouTube channel that was created and continues with the folks from Manoa Chocolate in Hawaii, which their chocolate just won some international prizes for amongst the best chocolate in the world. You can learn about growing cacao. They have plantations they actually visit quite a bit, how it's made, how it's packaged, how it's sold, but also how to taste it and all sorts of other things, how to use it in cooking. There's all sorts of great programming there. They're not very long videos, but they're long enough to hold your attention. And then if you want to just read about it, there's the chocolate journalist, and she is looking at all the issues around sustainability, around cacao right now because of climate change, because of politics, but also highlighting really good chocolate companies and their policies that are there. And finally, of course, you got to buy and eat chocolate. So I discovered this one site a little over a year ago. Bar and Cocoa is a really great site with way too many chocolate bars from artisan chocolate makers out there. They don't bump up their prices like a lot of the online chocolate shops do. Their prices are the same that you'd find any other retail, probably at the location itself. They work only with companies that have sustainable practices, and most of them don't show that they're fair trade because almost all of them, if not all of them, pay substantially more than fair trade to the farmers. That's one of the things the artisan movement has done. And finally, it's blocked. Fortunato Chocolate. I discovered them last year as well, and they are absolutely my favorite chocolate company. the folks who run it, Adam, this one guy was going through the jungles of Peru and saw this huge amount of cacao that looked a little bit different, the plants themselves. Turned out to be this heirloom bean called Nacional, which is really hard to find. And he made deals right on the spot with the help of someone else with the farmers, significantly paying them really well. They make some of the best chocolate. They have an amazing number of flavor combinations that go with the chocolate as well. And yes, I do have some of that here.
Oh, wow.
Free to try when we're done. And probably during the time we're doing the raffles and stuff. So I actually brought some samples of their 68% dark chocolate and their 47% dark milk chocolate, which is actually the best milk chocolate I've ever had. So I constantly buy stuff from them. And
for those of the virtual attendees, of course, you can purchase the chocolate from these websites.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
I strongly suggest that folks just take a look at the websites, and I think you'll be blown away, especially when you look at Fortunato. And that is it. This is the link for downloading the handout that we passed out. Right? It's just tinyurl.com, 30 sites, 2026. Yeah. And thank you, Mark. And that's how to get in touch with us. I will take any questions about Lexis, but I also take any questions about chocolate or the paranormal for that matter. Thank you. Questions? Answers? All right, up to you.
All right, let's give a big thank you to our final speakers, Loyd and Tina, for their fun, informative presentation. Okay, so just want to say thank you for being part of today's Spring Institute. We're grateful to our speakers for sharing their expertise, to our sponsor for supporting this event, and to all of you for engaging in the great discussions that took place. I hope you all walk away with some new ideas, useful insights, and maybe even new connections or a few new connections. Safe travels, and we hope to see you at the next Spring Institute. As a special thank you, we are going to raffle 3 e-gift cards using the spinning wheel to pick out the winners. And when your name is announced, we're going to make a note of your name so that we can send it to you. Okay. Sorry, what's that? Yeah, so the first raffle will be for a $50 gift card to Barnes & Noble. It's spinning. Sorry, we lost the other feed. So the first one is for Rosa Hall. So, all right. The second e-gift card will be a $25 Starbucks gift card. And the winner is Arlene Fletcher. Okay. And the third one is also a $25 Starbucks gift card. And that winner is April Udy. Yes. All right. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you around.
Yeah. Very welcome. All right. I didn't have plastic. Yeah. Want me to like put a mohawk?